Okay, and then I will create another reservoir. Okay, I will add tank here or here instead. So for example, I have another reservoir below my reservoir. I have another tank, another reservoir below tank 1. All right. So the data for this reservoir, after I investigate it, for example, the data is as follows. The temperature 250, the initial reservoir pressure 4,000, and then the porosity 0.25, all right? And then Connaught water saturation 0.15, water compressibility 3e to the minus 6, no gas cap, original oil in place, for example, 150, and start of production, this one. So more or less, it's like tank 1, okay? And then water influx, the tank 2 also doesn't have aquifer. Rock compressibility, I will use correlation. Okay, use correlation. No compaction issue. And relative permeability, the same with the tank 1. Okay, 1.3 for the oil, residual oil saturation. Endpoint, exponent, residual gas, endpoint, and then exponent. And then plot if you want to check the relative permeability. Okay, the relative permeability versus the phase saturation. The same for tank 1 and tank 2. And if you want to check relative permeability of water against the water saturation, it's like this. Relative permeability of oil against water saturation, it's like this. And for the gas, relative permeability of oil versus gas saturation, and relative permeability of gas versus gas saturation. Okay, so far so good. And let's say this tank 2 is virgin. I haven't put my well to drill or to penetrate this reservoir. So there is no production from this reservoir. There is no production or injection in this tank 2. My production is only from tank 1. Okay, so like this, the condition. I will move it a little bit. Okay, so I have tank 1, and below tank 1, I have tank 2. Okay, and now I want to connect them. Okay, because here in tank 1, okay, because what I see in tank 1, okay, in tank 1, I change it from here, previous tank, because of what I see in tank 1, the tank pressure versus calculated oil production, I know there is a connection between tank 1 and tank 2. Okay, my hypothesis is like this. Firstly, I only produce from tank 1. But after that, there is cross flow from tank 2 to tank 1. Okay, again, there is cross flow from tank 2 to tank 1, so that tank 2 will support the pressure of tank 1. That's why now the pressure drop or pressure decline becomes milder, becomes moderate. Okay, the pressure decline becomes slower because of pressure support from tank 2. Okay, here we have fast reservoir pressure decline. Here we have slow reservoir pressure decline because of pressure support from tank 2. Okay, So I will connect. I will make tank 1 connected to tank 2 with what? With this one. Transmissibility. Okay. Between tank 1 and tank